In the Cayman Islands, a new urbanist town is coming to life. To design it, a team of visionaries was assembled from around the world. Come on a journey and travel the globe as we meet the designers of Camana Bay.
Water has always been an integral part of the Cayman way of life. We wanted to incorporate that spirit into the center of Camana Bay, draw on the best of their history, and bring it alive. We thought one of the best ways of doing this would be to create 6 unique fountains in the center of town. That's why we're in Los Angeles, to meet the maestro, Jim Garland, at his firm, Fluidity. What's wonderful about Jim is the philosophical understanding of the use of water in the urban environment. Oh boy, I've been waiting for this for a while. Now, we gave you a tough brief. Camana Bay needs to take the water that surrounds it, and we needed to drop it straight down into the center of the town.
Well, firstly, it's important, I think, to understand this opportunity for what it represents.
Right.
Art expands us, and we learn new things from art. Fountains talk to ourselves about ourselves. That experience of remembering who you are, getting perspective on life, and calming down a little bit, this is the job of the fountain.
I can, yeah.
Could you please pass me that dish of seashells? One thing that's interesting is everybody loves seashells. They are fascinating, right? They are gorgeous, interesting things. Look at this one with the colors. In a way, that was the idea, that the water is something like a piece of art. This is a very contemporary form, and it's very beautifully finished, but it has inside these museum-quality seashells of great scale to capture some of that underwater feeling. The other thing you'll see are these bits of glass, and they're there to make the display not too literal, but very kind of enchanting and different.
Whose idea was it to put the tree right next to it?
We did that.
That's terrific.
There's an idea in my mind that Eden includes a pond and an overhanging tree. This was the only chance I ever had to actually build it.
That's really exciting. Oh, go on.
The courtyard just next to it, where there's a kind of a wall, and the seashells are set up to, again, remind us of the sea, where we want to remember where we are. And if you were to stand in front of that wall, and the way the water flows down, it's almost as if the seashells look like they're rising. That was our idea.
That's
that
right.
illusion. And it's a thrilling thing.
Well, the test on that was fantastic.
Yes.
When we set it up that night at the offices, this looks really interesting. The lights switched on, and we got those wonderful cones of light.
And the water was very subtle, and the shadows were very strong. And then there's a subtle curve.
Let's move on to the real power fountain, which I've been looking at all day. We gave you some restrictions when you were to build this. We wanted the space to interconnect beautifully and harmoniously with everything around it. And having said that, you've come up with this.
The main fountain in the crescent. The form is a dynamic form. It's never the same when you look at it. This fountain can go from something very small to something very big. That is a specific kind of motion effect. It's not about the shape, is it? It's about scale change. This idea of making a kind of wave that runs through it. Well, we all know the water's going like this, but the form is moving this way.
Where did that particular, the waves...
Okay, I'll tell you where that idea came from.
Go on.
We were speaking very hypothetically once here in the studio, and one of the engineers, he said, there's no reason why we couldn't just put a separate pump behind each nozzle, which is a ridiculous idea. I mean, most of the great fountains in the world have maybe 2 pumps, or 4. But this would be, like for you, there'd be 40.
Are they really?
Yes, sir. It kind of opened the door to something that had never been done before. It meant that we could control the size of each thing individually. They weren't all going together. They were very dynamic. The motion design becomes an idea all by itself. It's not the object, it's the way it's transforming. It goes back to a very primal human quality. We are aware of things that change. It's very exciting to watch people stand near it and then run with it and then run back and play games. And I would say, in some ways, it's the most exciting thing that we've ever done right here.
And that's the wonderful thing about the centre of the town. I mean, that is part of the brief. To make it playful, to make it interesting, to make it stimulating, to lift the bar in the Caribbean, and to make people love where they are.